Hi, A.B.L.E Ensemble, it's Emma, and today we're gonna make our Campfire Craft. If you wanna follow along at home, you can grab your weekly rehearsal rundown and flip to the page that says Craft Campfire. Okay, our first step is to get our materials. Some materials will be in your story kit, in your crafts and activities folder, or inside the brown paper bag that says craft supplies. You will need brown construction paper, a brown Sharpie, a glue stick, red, yellow, and orange tissue paper, a clear plastic cup, and your A.B.L.E flashlight. All those materials are inside your story kit. There's also one other material that you'll need, a pair of scissors. This you'll have to find at home. It's not inside your story kit. Okay, let's get started. Our first step is to make our logs using our brown construction paper. You're going to cut your brown construction paper lengthwise into 5 strips. You can pause the video now to cut. Okay, I have all my strips cut. It's okay if they're not all the same size, if some are a little bit thicker and others are a little bit thinner. My next step is to take my brown Sharpie and decorate the logs so they look like wood. This could mean adding some squiggles at the top so it looks like a log, or maybe some lines for the bark. You're going to draw on all 5 of your log strips. You can pause the video to do that now. Okay, I have my 5 logs, and now it's time to assemble. So we'll start by taking one log and laying it out, and then we're going to take a second log and place it over so that they overlap somewhere close to the middle. To secure these 2 pieces together, I'm going to take a little bit of glue and put it right here and then stick down. I'm going to keep doing that over and over so that my logs overlap in the middle with a little bit of glue to keep them together. You can pause your video to overlap your logs. So I've glued all my logs together, and I'm going to set that aside and come back to it in a minute. Now it's time to make our flames. So I'm going to take my tissue paper and fold it into thirds. So I've got 1, 2, then it's in thirds, and then I'm going to fold it in half. I should end up with a square piece of tissue paper. My next step is to trace my hand on the tissue paper. You can use your Sharpie or a pen to do this. Pause the video so you can trace your hand. Now that my hand is traced on the tissue paper, it's time to cut it out. So I'm going to grab my scissors and cut along the outline of the hand. Because of the way I folded it, I should end up with 6 different red tissue paper hands. Pause the video to cut, and then let's see if that worked. Wow, it worked. So now I have 6 red tissue paper hands. Now it's time to repeat this again with the orange tissue paper and the yellow tissue paper. So I want to make sure I've got my square. I'm going to trace my hand, and then I'm going to cut it out using my scissors. You can pause now to do this with the orange and yellow, and then we'll meet back up after that. So I've cut out my red, orange, and yellow tissue paper hands, which means it's time to start putting them around our cup. First, I'm going to grab one of my hands. Here's a yellow one. And I'm going to put glue all over the palm of the hand. Got my handy dandy glue stick. Put glue all over the palm of the hand. And then I'm going to stick the palm of my hand right to the cup. Now I'm going to keep repeating this with my other hands. So now I have an orange hand. I'm going to put glue all over the palm. And then I'm going to stick it to my cup. It's okay for the hands to overlap. In fact, it looks even more cool when they do. I'm going to keep working my way all around the cup, and then I'm going to add some other layers of flames, maybe some hands that are a little bit higher and some hands that are a little bit lower. And in that way, I'm going to build a big fire. You can pause the video to do this, and we'll check in a little bit. Just wanted to jump in here to show you my first layer of my fire. So I've used different color hands. I've got my red, I've got my orange, and I've got my yellow, and they're overlapping, so there's no empty space. I'm gonna keep going and adding some more hands to this, and you should too. Now that I finished the first layer of my hands, I used about 9 hands to make this much. I'm going to make another level that I'm gonna do a little bit lower. So I'm taking my red tissue paper hand. I'm gonna put glue on the palm, just like I was doing before. Ooh, my tissue paper was trying to stick to itself. And now I'm going to place the hand on my fire, but I'm gonna put it a little bit lower. See how the hand overlaps with the bottom? That's fine. I'm gonna just tuck that underneath. So this way we got some hands, some flames coming down a little bit lower. So I'm gonna make my second layer of hands that are a little bit lower than the first. You can do the same. Pause the video now. Wow, I used all my hands to make my fire. Now it's time to attach my fire to my logs. So I'm going to put some glue right in the center like I was doing before, and I'm going to put my cup in. Sometimes you need to add a little bit more pressure than you usually would to get it to stick. So you can stick your hand inside your cup and press down. You want to make sure these are attached nice and tight. Pause the video to attach your fire to your logs. We did it. We made our campfire craft. You're going to want to let this sit somewhere so it can dry so that everything sticks together and doesn't risk falling apart. But once your campfire is all dry, you can take your A.B.L.E flashlight, turn it on, and put it inside. Wow, it's like a glowing campfire. So cool. You will need this every class. So once you've made it, keep bringing it to your virtual ensemble class meetings. All right, bye.